Good afternoon, fourth grade. Today we're going to continue reading in our text, The Red Pyramid. Before we get started, we have a quick write. It says, how have Carter and Sadie changed since they left the museum with Amos? And so you can talk about the magical powers that they've developed. You can talk about how they, realized a lot about their family history, about being Egyptian magicians that they didn't know before. You could also talk about how their relationship with each other is changing because they're spending more time together. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the focus question. It says, what were the consequences of Julius Cain's actions at the museum? How will his actions affect Carter and Sadie? And then our focus standard today is being able to analyze the cause and effects of Julius's actions at the museum. And we want to make sure we have evidence to back up our answer. Our vocabulary words are terrace, and that is just a leveled path next to a building. Usually has like a patio on it. So this picture is a picture of a terrace. Brethren, that is the plural form of brothers. So you draw a line to this picture. And albino, someone or an animal that's albino is all white. They have really light skin and all their hair is white. All right, turn the page, and we want you on this page at the library in your text in chapter 2, and we're going to be using our CSPS strategy. So we're at the top of the page, Sadie's narration in the library. The library had no bookshelves. Instead, the walls were honeycombed with round cubby holes, each one holding a sort of scroll. Carter and I found Dad's work bag on a table on the ground floor. Go over. Let's see what we've got. One cat statue, several links of twine, Dad's magic box, and a prehistoric painting set, an ugly sculpture, and a roll of papyrus. It was used in Egypt as it was the Egyptian version of paper. They made it out of a river plant. But it's so rough. Do you think they had to use toilet papyrus? Knock it off, Sadie. What are you, 12? No wonder they walk sideways. There's nothing here. We need something powerful to help save Dad, or at least some kind of clue about where he is. You heard him, little warty troll. Give us something we can use, Sadie says, talking to the doll. And then the doll comes to life and says, I answer the call. Ah! Ah! Okay, well, we'll stop right there because we have information about the setting. In box 2, we would write, Carter and Sadie used magic to get into the library. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And for the quote, we would write down Sadie's narration at the top of the page. The library had no bookshelves. Instead, the walls were honeycombed with round cubby holes, each one holding a sort of scroll. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. All right, let's turn the page. We're at the top of the page where Muffin is inspecting the Shabbat. Go away! I'm not a mouse. What are you? I'm a Shabbat, of course. Master calls me Doughboy, though I find the name insulting. You may call me Supreme Force who crushes his enemies. Doughboy. The master is our dad, and he's missing. He's been magically sent away somehow, and we need your help. Master is gone? Ha-ha! Free at last! See and then she slams the lid of the box on him. Trapped! Trapped! Oh, shut up. I'm the mistress now, and you'll answer my questions. Now, Doughboy, first off, what's a Shabadi? Shabadi means answerer, as even the stupidest slave could tell you. The Egyptians made models out of wax or clay, servants to do every kind of job they could imagine in the afterlife. But afterlife work is only one use for Shabadi. We are used for a great number of things in this life, because magicians would be total incompetents without us doing the hard work. Why did Dad cut off your legs, but leave you with a mouth? He cut my legs off so I wouldn't run away or come to life in perfect form and try to kill him, naturally. Magicians are afraid of us. Would you have come to life and tried to kill him had he made you perfectly? Probably. Are we done? Not by half. Are you going to help us or not? Lift me up. That scroll. The one between the book of slaying Apophis and blood of the pharaohs? Yes. What's it say, Doughboy? Ha! I was summoned to give you something you can use. Telling you how is a different task. I declare my service fulfilled. Wax again. Thanks, troll. Sadie, I've seen this picture before. It explains how the Egyptian calendar got 365 days to a year. Originally, there were only 360 days, like the degrees in a circle. It all started when Ra, the sun god, heard that a child of the sky and earth would take his place as king. This guy down here is the earth god Jeb. The same as the chap on the floor? Yes, which probably means that... Turn the page. Yep, that Jeb's wife, the sky goddess Nut, painted up there on the ceiling. Nut, was her last name Case? We'll stop right there because we have information about the characters. All right. In box 1, we would write, Carter and Sadie dump out the contents of their father's work bag and discover a Shabadi who will grant them 3 wishes. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. All right, and if we go back to the page, we would write down the quote where the Shabadi tells Sadie and Carter what it is. It says, I'm a Shabadi, of course. Master calls me Doughboy, though I find the name insulting. You may call me Supreme Force who crushes his enemies. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the problem. All right, so we're going to go into these couple of pages in parallel teaching when Carter tells Sadie the story of Jeb and Nut and their children, and they kind of figure out like what Set is up to. And now go to this page. So, and when they're in the middle of all of this, these serpopods come and attack the mansion, and they really do not know what to do. And so that is what we would write down for the problem. The serpopods are attacking them, and like Philip tries to save them, and Khufu tries to save them, and it just doesn't work. And so now we're on this page where Carter and Sadie are out of options. And so in box 3, we would write, serpopods attack Carter and Sadie at the mansion. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And for the quote, we would write down Carter's narration at the bottom of this page. where he says, Serpopods, last night the Red Lord said he'd send those to capture us. Press pause to write down your quote and play when you're ready for the solution. All right, and for the solution, Carter and Sadie are trapped, and Sadie remembers Muffin. And it says, just then the air was filled with a hum. Oh, no, wrong page. It says, then I remembered something Amos had said. Muffin will protect you. Was that what Khufu had been trying to remind me? Muffin, I order you to protect us. And then Muffin turns into this woman. And that says, about time. And the woman fights off the sauropods, and she says that her name is actually Bast, and she is the goddess of cats, or the Eye of Ra. And she, after she fights them off, she steals a car, and she tries to get them out of sight. And then there's like this other evil thing that comes to fight them. And Bast, tells Sadie and Carter to go hide out in this museum while she fights off the other enemy. And while they're in the museum, one of the, policemen from the House of Life is there and kind of traps them. And, they kind of, convince her not to kill them, but she takes them through this portal right before the evil set animal can kill them. So she actually ends up saving them. All right, so for the solution, we would write, Sadie orders Muffin to protect them, and she fights off the Serpopods and Serket, that's the name of this evil person, Serket, while Carter and Sadie escape to the Museum of Art. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And for the quote, we would write down what Bast was saying on this page before they get to the museum. Where Bast tells them, hang on, I think it's on the next page. Yeah, it's at the bottom. She says, I'll hold off Serket while you escape. Combat magic is my specialty. So you write down that quote in box 4. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the paragraph. And the paragraph says, how do Sadie and Carter respond to challenge? What do their responses reveal about their character? So you would think about the problem that they encounter, how they respond to it, and what kind of people they are.